281, Readings. Part 7. A great deal has been and may be accomplished in the work, in the study of spiritual healing. And these should be kept as a part of the experience of each individual. Because, there are periods when, with the associations of ideas as well as ideals, it is necessary for the application of mechanical and medicinal properties in the experience of each. And, there are experiences when apparently there is the failure on the part of either to bring the material help to many, according to the idea of an individual. Such experiences have tended to create a laxness on the part of many and a questioning within self as to the need or as to the use of it. Yet there has been forgotten much that is the basic principle, the basic truth that has been indicated through these channels and is seen in the teachings of Him who is the way, the truth and the light. In the study of His application of healing, in His ministry. We're all healed only by the spoken word. We're all healed by the laying on of hands. We're all healed by any one way or manner. Rather, as ye analyze His activities and that which is thy own experience, ye may see the manifestation of the truth that the Lord is one, exemplified in the healing as well as in the daily relationships of man to man in all phases of his experience. Thus this group, as ye analyze and study spiritual healing, be first consistent in thy activities and in thy thoughts, and in thy purposes, in thy hopes and in thy desires day by day. And in the application of those truths or those examples as were given by Him, as well as in thy relationships to thy fellows. Be persistent as well as consistent. Thus there may come indeed into the experience of all the more and more awareness of His consciousness, of the Spirit of truth, as a living thing in thy experience. In the study of those phases of experience of souls that enter into materialization, these purposes should be borne in mind by each member of the group. And do not lose sight of the purpose of the group in the knowledges gained, but make same practical in the daily experience, in the daily associations with others. For, such knowledge, such understanding, should enable each to assist others in understanding their relationships to the universal consciousness, enabling them also to assist in bringing hope into the experiences of those discouraged from whatever cause that may be the awareness of the individual at the time. Hence more and more in those periods of meditation for others who seek through these channels to become aware of God's presence, God's promises through the Christ. Bring them into thine own consciousness by thought, by deed, in such measures and manners, that ye may indeed be a helpful influence in the experiences of others. In giving that as may be helpful to each in gaining an inspiration. This, to be sure, must come from within, and each may only be directed as to a way or means in which each may give. Then as ye give ye may receive that inspiration, that blessing. This ye have realized in thy efforts and in thy purposes, though the desire has been at times to gain knowledge. This is not amiss, if the knowledge is applied in such a way as to become beneficial or a helpful influence in the lives of others, bringing them, through thy known principle, thy known purposes, thy known desire, to an awakening to those abilities which lie within. Where each may attune self to the consciousness of the Christ within. For, thy body being indeed the temple of the living God, where He has promised to meet thee. Consecrate thyself, thy purposes, thy abilities, to that awareness of the abiding faith and hope that may be aroused within. By supping with thy Lord. For as ye do it unto the least, so ye do unto thy Maker. Let each, then, seek that which is best in those ye meet day by day. Live peace and harmony within, and ye will bring peace and harmony to those ye meet through this series of meetings. Be glad that ye have the opportunity to speak a word to thy friend, thy neighbor, thy brother. For, thus ye may arouse that hope within, as to make this experience in this material world worthwhile, where each may seek to know, to give, to be that he would have thee be. All are children of that creative force, God. All are brethren, then, with thy Lord, who has promised, Lo, I stand at the door and knock. If ye open, I will come in and sup with thee. Give thanks for that thou hast the opportunity, the day, the period in the experience of the earth, when ye may raise thy voice in praise to him. The purpose for which the Christ came into the earth. First, that the level of man's consciousness might be such that he, man, would be as aware of God as of himself. Second, as in each of his promises to man, that love might abound, that there would be a continued communion with God through the Son, who offered himself as a means of man's approach to the Father. So, this message to all. Keep that awareness of his presence. For, as he hath given, lo, I am with you always, even unto the end of the world. And though there may be abroad hate, avarice, selfishness, and those things that make men afraid, be still within thine own heart, thine own consciousness, and know that he is with thee. Then, as ye give so do ye receive. As he hath given, the love of the Father to the children of men is manifested in that Spirit of Christ. That which may now be raised to that consciousness, that level above man's way of thought, man's concept of force, power or might, and that the real strength, the real hope, the real contribution is in that still small voice within. It is not in the tempest, not in the roar or the lure of the might of battle. Though there may be the destruction of life, of property, as is known materially. No one can destroy the soul but self. No one but self. God hath not willed that any soul should perish, but hath given even his Son, that brought even into the world that Spirit of Christ. Let thy message be. There is hope in him. For there is the promise through, Lo, I am with thee always, even unto the end of the world. And though the world, the earth may pass away, though it may be burned up, though it may bring destruction to the material things, we look to him, we know there is safety in him. Fear not he that may destroy the body, but rather fear him that may destroy the soul in torment. Then, in love, in obedience, in prayer, follow him. Let that heart, that mind then be in thee as was in him, that ye love one another.